Every choice we make can build bridges or burn them. Let's choose peace in our words, our action, and our hearts. Peace begins with you. Together, we can create a brighter and safer future for everyone. Join me. Let's be that change we want to see.
Peace begins with us. Every act of kindness, every step towards understanding brings us closer to a brighter tomorrow. Let's choose unity, compassion, and hope. Together, we can build a future where peace reigns.
Brighter tomorrow starting today.
In Jamaica, there needs to be one law for all. Every member of this society, regardless of profession, finances, or the area you live in.
I have some bad news.
The company didn't get the contract?
The money they paid us for it has gotten out.
Are you serious?
I'm afraid so, and I understand that there are going to be corruption charges.
Minister, please come with us, sir.
Breaking news. A senior politician and senior civil servant have been charged for corruption.
Thank God not all of them stay, sir.
Build integrity. One law for all.
A message from NIA.
Na, 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 na. We want a peace for Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. We have to be our brother's keeper. Yeah, yeah. Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life. What we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good. I better you and I. No say we future bright. Jamaica live good. Come together as one. I make the violence the one.
Today, we can report 2 consecutive years of reduction in major crimes and murders, with a significant reduction of almost 20% in murders for 2024.
Between January 2022 and January 2025, we have reduced murders by 51%. And January 2025 had the lowest monthly murder count since September 2014.
Our efforts have also resulted in the reduction of active gangs by 50%. We continue to increase firearm seizures, and in more communities, we are experiencing less violence. We will realize our vision of Jamaica as the place of choice to live, work, do business, raise families, and retire in peace and prosperity.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
A new story is being written for all Jamaicans. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is on a mission to transform lives. From increasing access to potable water, providing secure homes for the most vulnerable, and helping you own a piece of the rock. We're revitalizing communities and preserving our environment. We're making an impact. See the difference. Feel the difference. Building a better Jamaica for you and me.
You can feel it. Make JC.
People always say government must be held accountable. But it's whose job to keep government accountable, and what that really mean? Well, you see, when ministers and public officials have to provide answers for decisions made and can face consequences for those actions and decisions, that means they're being held accountable. Keeping government accountable is a key responsibility of our elected representatives, and the Parliament provides special tools or mechanisms just for this. As citizens, we need to understand how they work so we can play our part to ensure that the members of Parliament we elect are using the tools and doing their job well. Here are 4 of the primary tools you should understand and talk to your MP about. Tool number 1, Minister's Statements. To effectively monitor the government, MPs need to stay informed. Every Tuesday when Parliament sits, different cabinet ministers are scheduled to give an update on decisions they're making on our behalf. These updates are called Statements by Ministers. They cover a wide range of national issues that other MPs, media, and citizens may have questions about and wish to examine further. That brings us to tool number 2. What you do when you want information? You ask questions. And that's why we have Question Time. Both opposition and government MPs can submit questions to the Prime Minister or Cabinet Ministers for details on, for example, how a contract was awarded or expenditure to purchase tablets for schools. So if you ever have a question for a government minister, try asking through your MP. After all, that's why they're your political representatives. They should represent your questions and concerns to the government. Tool number 3, parliamentary debates. When cabinet ministers present the government's proposals for new policies, laws, and programs, parliamentary debates allow both opposition and government MPs to air concerns, make suggestions, and endorse proposals. If you ever watch those debates, you know they can get a little fiery. But the debate is important as it informs decisions and continues until a vote is taken on the way forward. Then we have tool number 4, parliamentary committees. The general sittings of Parliament are not always sufficient for detailed examination of government work, so oversight committees are formed using government and opposition members to do just that. Some committees like the PAC and the PAAC are in place for an entire parliamentary term. Their job is to monitor the use of public funds to find ways to increase value and efficiency while reducing waste and corruption. Cabinet and state ministers are not appointed to oversight committees since they are a part of the government. Some committees are formed when a need arises. For example, joint select committees are formed to review draft policies or legislation or to probe other matters of serious national importance. Members of these committees are both opposition and government MPs and senators, and these committees will usually invite citizens to share their opinions, concerns, and recommendations. So there you have it, 4 accountability tools of Parliament that are used to make sure government run right. Visit jampja.org to find contact information for your MP. Invite them to meet with the community so they can better represent your issues and concerns in Parliament and keep government accountable. Get involved and let's make Jamaica land we love, Jamaica land we own, and Jamaica land we run well. A message from the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, funded by the European Union and the Inter-American Development Bank in partnership with the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica.
Me, I go show them my way of justice.
I'm abused.
I need legal advice. I don't deserve this.
The truth of the matter is, justice there for all of it. The Ministry of Justice has trained more than 5,600 persons in restorative justice practices. More than 200,000 victims have been supported by the victim services. Legal aid has reached thousands island-wide. Make we talk it out, not fight it out. Call 888 Justice today.
Motorists, as Minister of Justice, I appeal to you. Obey the road code, pay your ticket on time, and only go to court if the ticket is being contested. Close to 80% of matters coming to the parish courts are for traffic breaches. Let's work together to make our roads safe and ease the burden on our courts.
Me, I go show them my way of justice.
I'm abused.
I need legal advice. I don't deserve this.
The truth of the matter is, justice there for all of it. The Ministry of Justice has trained more than 5,600 persons in restorative justice practices. More than 200,000 victims have been supported by the victim services. Legal aid has reached thousands island-wide. Make we talk it out, not fight it out. Call 888 Justice today.
Since 2016, 156,000 more Jamaicans are working. This is more than any other time in our history. Your government is caring for you.
I wonder who that somebody be. No, sir. Let me look for my glasses. Oh, how that somebody look like right, sir? It's Lottie, walk on. Me glad for see you, right? Although things never go on for you, America, me glad to see you there.
Yes.
Lift your head high.
Yes.
Stay out of trouble.
Yes.
And you can have a fresh start back home.
All right, Mr. D. Thanks, you hear?
Let's all work together for a fresh start back home.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Today, we can report 2 consecutive years of reduction in major crimes and murders. with a significant reduction of almost 20% in murders for 2024.
Between January 2022 and January 2025, we have reduced murders by 51%. And January 2025 had the lowest monthly murder count since September 2014.
Our efforts have also resulted in the reduction of active gangs by 50%. We continue to increase firearm seizures, and in more communities, we are experiencing less violence. We will realize our vision of Jamaica as the place of choice to live, work, do business, raise families, and retire in peace and prosperity.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Tell me something. How much time you ever hear the government announce a project and wonder why they must spend millions on this and not on that? Well, if you think there's nothing you can do about how your money is spent, think again. Jamaica's budget is more than just numbers. It reveals our biggest problems and goals, our plans to fix them, and what to prioritize. We can even call it a promise book of what will be done to improve our lives. Now, let's talk about the 4 stages of the budget cycle so we can understand how it works and get involved. Stage 1, planning and review. The Ministry of Finance sends out a budget call to every ministry, which outlines the priorities and constraints to guide how those ministries prepare their budget. After ministries submit their drafts, the Finance Ministry reviews, compiles, and sends them to Cabinet for review and approval. Stage 2, parliamentary debate and approval. The Finance Minister tables all budget documents in the House of Representatives. The Standing Finance Committee, which is all 63 MPs, sits to examine the budget documents, and each minister presents their budget and answers concerns the committee has. The committee's report is then tabled in the House, followed by the estimated expenditure, which is tabled as legislation called the Appropriations Bill. That's right, the budget of Jamaica is law. The budget debate formally opens. We have presentations from the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, Opposition Leader, and the Shadow Finance Minister. After their presentations, our MPs vote for or against approval. Like all legislation, it goes to the Senate for their approval and then to the Governor General for his royal assent. No later than March 31st, end of the financial year. Stage 3, implementation. The new financial year begins and approved budgets are sent to ministries. Collecting taxes, borrowing loans, and receiving grants begin. And so does the spending. Stage 4, budget oversight. Now, this is where citizens don't need permission to get involved. Throughout the year, operations and spending are assessed by internal auditors and the Auditor General's department that makes sure public entities are compliant with laws and that their financial reports are accurate. All Auditor General reports are submitted to our Parliament's Public Accounts Committee for review and cross-examination of public officials. The Ministry of Finance, Integrity Commission, and MOCA also monitor government spending to guard against poor financial management and corruption. It is our job to review these reports, check the findings in the newspaper, and look up if breaches are fixed at jampja.org. If not, ask your MP what he or she has done to ensure public officials are held to account. No more 9-day wonders. So, did the government follow through on their spending and investment promises last year? What promises will next year's budget have? How will they affect you, and how can you ensure that you get what is promised? For access to the national budget, check out JAMP's easy digital version and contact info for your MP at jampja.org. Then link your MP and see what progress is being made throughout the entire budget cycle. Support JAMP. Let's do our job to make Jamaica land we love, Jamaica land we own, and Jamaica land we run well. A message from the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, funded by the European Union in partnership with the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica.
Join the conversation focusing on Jamaica's development. Tune in to the post-cabinet press briefings, Wednesdays live at 9 a.m. with a rebroadcast at 9 p.m. right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.
More more of your money is now tax-free? Know that the income tax threshold has been increased. Your government is looking after you responsibly, so our economy can do even more for you.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
A new story is being written for all Jamaicans. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is on a mission to transform lives. From increasing access to potable water, to providing secure homes for the most vulnerable, and helping you own a piece of the rock. We're revitalizing communities and preserving our environment. We're making an impact. See the difference. Feel the difference. Building a better Jamaica for you and me.
You can feel it. Make JC.
What can I...
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Lock them out.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come scam. Take time running, because we ready for the ops. Drive up on your block, step out now the block. Cyber take about your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence a drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the underground. Sin you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Feel say you get wet, look out for. Look out for, look out for. From you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Feel say you get wet, look out for. Look out for, look out for.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
MOCA. Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public while on the road to republic. Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic.
Give yourself a fighting chance. Wear an approved helmet. A message from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport and Mining.
Peace begins with us. Every act of kindness, every step towards understanding brings us closer to a brighter tomorrow. Let's choose unity, compassion, and hope. Together, we can build a future where peace reigns.
Brighter
tomorrow starting today.
Jamaica, I can help you protect our citizens.
Jamaica Eye will play a part in increasing your public safety.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding. Mosquitoes will breed in any container that holds water.
Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, barrels, buckets, and tanks. If this cannot be done, pour cooking oil on the water surface. Punch holes in all tins, plastics, and beverage boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover all tires or fill with dirt to prevent water collection. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs. Use mosquito repellents to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Dispose of garbage properly by placing in plastic bags and securing properly to prevent water collection.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Dengue is ordinarily a mild disease. Persons may get a fever, headache, joint, and muscle pains. The illness is often resolved through rest and adequate hydration along with paracetamol to treat the accompanying fever. However, on occasions, the illness can progress to severe dengue, which can result in organ failure, bleeding, and severe fluid depletion that can lead to shock and even death. Therefore, it is important for persons who are experiencing fever, vomiting, severe abdominal pain, bleeding under the skin, feeling very weak, or getting confused to seek immediate attention. Let us work together to protect ourselves against dengue.
What is the role of a backbencher in government? I'm glad you asked. They're members of parliament who are not appointed to cabinet. So they sit in the back of the legislature and they apply pressure. They examine what government legislates, participate in parliament debates, raise issues and advocate and question chamber when things don't look straight. Backbenchers represent the constituents in parliament. Backbenchers oversee the interests of citizens, you and me. But how can they be agents of government accountability after them no hold a portfolio? And them and a minister? No. So then how can they facilitate government transparency? And the next thing, them and a front bencher. So how them affect me? You see, a lot of work is in committees. So these portfolio-free MPs with less dire responsibilities are more accessible to you and me. So they help with policy, but it helps if we engage them, you see. So they're not just in the back benches, but on the ground, in the trenches. Though in the back of parliament, we're at the front of their cause. So pause. Find your backbencher at jampja.org.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Lock them out. Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come scam. Take time running, because we ready for the ops. Drive up on your block, step out now me block, cyber take a boy your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence a drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the underline. Sin you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. They say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit. From you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. They say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
MOCA! MOCA!
Are you an entrepreneur producing an excellent Jamaican product or service? Did you know you can earn hard currency and more significant returns by exporting? Contact the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to help propel your business along the export lane.
Everything you can produce, the Jamaicans overseas want it. We're not going to get rich by just bringing down the debt. We're going to get rich by exporting a lot more. So grow exports, create job opportunities, drive economic growth through exports to make Jamaica a richer and much more prosperous country.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Jamaica is changing right before our very eyes. Across the island, billions are being invested into our road networks, from farm and community roads to major roads and highways. Dozens of communities across the length and breadth of Jamaica are receiving access to reliable potable water for the very first time. And thousands of Jamaicans have become homeowners thanks to the historic shifts in policies of the National Housing Trust, making it easier for Jamaicans to receive funding. Not to mention the record number of houses being built. Never dreamed you would own a home? No matter your circumstance, home ownership is possible for you, thanks to the government's new social housing program specially designed to meet the needs of poor Jamaicans at no cost to them. We are building Jamaica.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running, belly even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs and manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care, practice every day. message from the Ministry of Health.
More of your money is now tax-free? Know that the income tax threshold has been increased. Your government is looking after you responsibly, so our economy can do even more for you.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
So who keeps our taxpayer money in check? Well, the PAC and PAAC help watch over the country's budget. And one might sound like it just have an extra A, but they're way different. Here's how. The PAAC and PAC are two committees that watch the money. The Public Accounts Committee reviews government projects after them close. They do a post-audit check to see what problems arose with the costs and call officials to explain decisions that cause budget mismanagement. And then they recommend corrective action. So the problem will happen from when, not happen again. But what about the money we are spending right now? The PAAC. That's how Public Administration and Appropriations Committee pretty much means your money will protect as it happen, we check. While projects go on, things are accurate. As government spend the nation's budget, PAAC reviews it. They examine proposals and summon officials to find problems before them don't use it. So the PAC and PAAC are two parliamentary committees that watch over the country's wallet to protect the budget and keep it in check. And you can get involved. Just visit jampja.org.
Speeding kills. Obey the speed limit. A message from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport and Mining.
No more guarantors for student loan. Your government cares about your education, and we don't want you to ever have to worry about going to university. The Students' Loan Bureau has a loan for you, so you can focus on your future.
A new story is being written for all Jamaicans. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is on a mission to transform lives. From increasing access to potable water, providing secure homes for the most vulnerable, and helping you own a piece of the rock, we're revitalizing communities and preserving our environment. We're making an impact. See the difference. Feel the difference. Building a better Jamaica for you and me.
You can feel it. Make JC.
Zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table by the side or the back. If you check out the servings, just do the maths. Not taking too much, finger below the facts. Zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table by the side or the back. Take note of the sodium, the sugars and the fats by percent and less in on the right track. You for zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table by the side or the back. Vitamins, minerals and vitamin 2, 20% and more that good for you. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. Less sugar, less salt intake and less fat. You for zoom in.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaica Moves, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, the National Health Fund, and JAPNet.
Me, I go show them my way of justice.
I'm abused.
I need legal advice. I don't deserve this.
The truth of the matter is, justice there for all of we. The Ministry of Justice has trained more than 5,600 persons in restorative justice practices. More than 200,000 victims have been supported by the victim services. Legal aid has reached thousands island-wide. Make we talk it out, not fight it out. Call 888 Justice today.
Motorists, as Minister of Justice, I appeal to you. Obey the road code, pay your ticket on time, and only go to court if the ticket is being contested. Close to 80% of matters coming to the parish courts are for traffic breaches. Let's work together to make our roads safe and ease the burden on our courts.
Each year, the Jamaican Parliament approves billions in tax dollars to buy goods and services for Jamaicans. Awarding contracts to private companies to provide public goods and services is called public procurement, and it is a major hotspot for corruption. Can Can citizens spot the red flags in public procurement and help the government protect our taxes? Yes, they can. And here are 6 to watch for. Direct contracting. When contracts are frequently awarded to one supplier without other companies competing to offer a better price and quality, we usually end up paying more and getting less. Contract splintering. Big projects need big money and higher level approvals. But if the contract is cut up into smaller ones, it won't need external approval from offices like the Public Procurement Commission or Cabinet. This makes it easier for contracts to avoid additional scrutiny. Timing of advertisements. Contracts advertised during distracting periods like the holidays can result in less competition and a really strong advantage for the favored company. Like Christmas time, work slows down and companies are less attentive to business opportunities. Emergency contracting. Claiming emergencies allows officials to legally bypass normal procurement rules, making it easier to award contracts to favored companies. Contract timing. Contracts awarded just before or after election can be payback for campaign support and not based on what Jamaicans really need. Collusion. And what if penalties are not enforced when work is poorly done? This could be a contractor and public official working together for private benefit. And if it is, this is collusion. These flags do not prove corruption, but they trigger questions that citizens must ask. So mind your business, Jamaica. Visit the JAMP Procurement Tracker to monitor government contracts. If you spot these flags, use our ATI tool to ask questions and demand accountability.
Cook it up and make we steam it. Fresh so me need it, tilapia a real fish. Cook it up and make we roast it. Farm fresh so me need it, tilapia a real fish. Grow smart at the best part. Food for thought so me have to eat smart. Easy catch, fully net. A tilapia so you don't know what's next. Cook it up and make we fry it. Fresh so me need it, tilapia a real fish. Bring home the best in freshwater fish. High content of vitamin B3, protein and potassium. Tilapia, simple, healthy, delicious.
Na 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 na. We want a piece for Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. We have to be our brother's keeper. Yeah, yeah. Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life. Want we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good. I better you and I. No say we future bright. Jamaica live good. Come together as one. I make the violence the world.
Yo, babes, why me I call you so much time and I not get you? Sorry me lick you again yesterday. Yo, me know me mess up, but I can't wear them something there road and I expect me to react. I know I'm jealous and fool and easy to lose my temper, but call me back here.
Still not get tired.
Hey, girl, think me have to call your phone? You know who you are deal with? You think I want to lick me again next time? Eh?
It doesn't have to be this way. You can leave an abusive relationship. Just call 876-553-0372. We will help you.
Hey, just a reminder, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try talking to a trusted friend or family member. You don't have to go through it alone. Sometimes sharing your feelings can make a big difference. If you need more support, don't hesitate.
Almighty God, by whom alone kings reign and princes decree justice, and from whom alone cometh all counsel, wisdom, and understanding, we thine unworthy servants here gathered together in thy name, do most humbly beseech thee to send down thy heavenly wisdom from above, to direct and guide us in all our consultations. And grant that, we having thy fear always before our eyes, and laying aside all private interests, prejudices, and partial affections, the result of all our counsels may be to the glory of thy blessed name, the maintenance of true religion and justice, the safety, honor, and happiness of the king, the public weal, peace and tranquility of the island, and the uniting and knitting together of the hearts of all persons and estates within the same, in true Christian love and charity, one towards another, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
It sounds very hard, but very hard.
Ha. Ha.
Whitney.
Rocks him up, speaker.
You may be seated.
This is our weekly.
Members, today, before the opening remarks, with your kind indulgence, I would like to do the call of the roll first. Call of the roll.
Mr. Clark. Here. Mr. Green. Present. Dr. Holness. Dr. Chang. Mrs. Williams. Mr. Bartlett. Ms. Grange. Dr. Tufton. Mr. Mackenzie. Mr. Montague. Mr. Vaz. Mr. Chuck. Mr. Charles Jr. Mr. Morgan. Ambassador Marks. Mr. Samuda. Dr. Wheatley. Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn. Mr. Terry Long. Mr. Witter. Mrs. Dalrymple Filbert. Ms. Morrison. Ms. Lee. Mr. Donovan Williams. Mr. Main. Ms. Crawford. Mr. Delroy Williams. Ms. Hamilton. Mr. Sivright. Mr. Azan. Mr. Brown. Dr. Brown-Burke. Mr. Buchanan. Mr. Bunting. Ms. Burchell. Dr. Campbell. Mr. Cousins. Mr. Crawford. Ms. Daly. Dr. Dawes. Mr. Golding. Mr. Gordon. Mr. Hales. Mr. Hines. Mr. Hilton. Mr. Jackson. Ms. Jess. Mrs. Malahoo Fort. Mrs. Miller Bennett. Mr. Morris. Mrs. Nita Garvey, Mr. Newell, Mr. Paulwell, Mr. Phillips, Ms. Perkis, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Robinson, Dr. Russell, Ms. Shaw, Mr. Smith, Mr. Vaz, and Mr. Warmington. Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn, and Mrs. Williams. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I now call this sitting of the House of Representatives to order for today, this 12th day of February 2026. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all the members of this honorable House, to our wonderful friends visiting the Parliament today, seated in the gallery, and to the many Jamaicans joining us online and through the various broadcast platforms. Today, we assemble at the commencement of a new legislative session. It is a moment of renewal of mandate, of responsibility, and of purpose. Admittedly, the last parliamentary session was very brief. Following the dissolution of Parliament for the general elections, our operation spanned only September 28, 2025 to February 9, 2026. Yet, even within the shortened period, the House demonstrated that impact is not measured solely by time, but by focus and commitment. We passed key legislations, including the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Act, the Financial Investigations Division Amendment Act, and the Cybercrimes Amendment Act. These measures strengthen our legal framework in areas of rehabilitation, financial accountability, and digital security, issues central to modern governance. Prior to the prorogation, important committee work was already undertaken. The review of the Domestic Violence Act had commenced. Also, the Green Paper on National Policy for Culture, Entertainment, and the Creative Economy. These matters remain active and carry significant national importance. We anticipate meaningful progress in this session. The Caucus of Women Parliamentarians also began its structured engagement. This is a welcomed and progressive development within our parliamentary landscape. Oversight remains robust. The PAC and PAAC continued their deliberations, reinforcing Parliament's constitutional role in scrutinizing expenditure and public administration. Their work is vital to accountability and public trust, and we look forward to receiving sound recommendations. Within our internal governance, the House Committee has been actively considering improvements aimed at enhancing the comfort, functionality, and modernization of our facilities for members and parliamentary staff. The long-standing aspiration for a new or expanded parliamentary building remains firmly before us. This was a key highlight in the recent Commonwealth Parliamentary Association benchmark report on the Parliament of Jamaica. However, we must also speak candidly about the realities we face. The administration of Parliament continues to operate under staffing constraints that affect capacity and the pace of delivery of service. We are actively advocating for additional personnel to better support members in the execution of their legislative and representative functions. We are also contending with ongoing space, access, electrical, plumbing challenges within the building. This, being an antiquated building, has given rise to issues that might impact the structural integrity of the facility. For example, the Jamaica Council of Persons with Disabilities Accessibility Assessment Report on the Parliament building revealed that only 65% of the features of the physical environment met accessibility standards, and our digital content or web accessibility score was 11%. These are not abstract issues. They affect safety, efficiency, and the overall working environment of this institution. Addressing them remains a priority, even as we pursue longer-term solutions regarding accommodation and infrastructure. As always, despite these challenges, progress continues. Following the swearing-in of members at the beginning of the last parliamentary session, the administration hosted an orientation session for new and returning members. Members were introduced to key staff and departmental heads and briefed on proposed organizational improvements by the clerk. These reforms include continued lobbying for the expansion of staffing to strengthen institutional support. With the support of the CPA, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and our own parliamentary technical team, a draft of our revised standing orders has been prepared and submitted to the Standing Orders Committee for review and update. This important reform initiative was introduced during the post-election seminar held January 28 to 30, 2026. And this was in collaboration with Parliamericas. The seminar was both practical, forward-looking, and it equipped members with a deeper procedural understanding and reinforced the principles of a modern, rules-based parliament. We have also advanced modernization efforts through the procurement of a web developer's new parliamentary website. This completion is anticipated to be around May 2026 of this year. Our integration of technology must improve, and it will, as this initiative forms a greater part of the broader commitment of transparency and accessibility. In addition, both members and staff can expect the My HR Plus system to go live before the end of this financial year. This platform modernizes our human resource management processes, streamline administrative functions, and improve efficiency and accountability within the institution. It represents another step towards building a parliament that is administratively strong and future-ready. This was particularly important to many members of parliament, as it has taken many persons who have gone on retirement years to be able to access their pensions under the old system. That would be a thing of the past. Members, infrastructure and systems are important, but ultimately the strength of this parliament rests on conduct. As we begin this legislative year, I urge all members to uphold the highest standards of decorum and discipline. Adherence to the standing orders is fundamental. They are not obstacles to debate. They are the safeguards that ensure fairness, order, and respect within the chamber. The Jamaican people expect seriousness of purpose. They expect thoughtful legislation, vigilant oversight, and mature engagement across the aisles. They expect leadership worthy of this institution. Let us therefore approach this session with steadiness, mutual respect, and an unwavering commitment to national progress. The challenges are real. The opportunities are significant. The responsibility is ours. I thank you, and I look forward to a productive and impactful legislative session. Thank you, members. House Leader, we will also share this report. We will also share this report on the Parliament, and we will share with the members through the House Committee an update for their consideration and for sharing with the entire House in detail. House Leader, and House Leader, I crave your indulgence. It appears a member from St. James West Central would like to make a comment here.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I really want to put on record my appreciation to you and the parliamentary staff for the post-election seminar. While it is regrettable that we did not have large number of parliamentarians in attendance, from my interaction with those who attended, the common view was that it was beneficial. And certainly in the many years that I have been in the Parliament, it's the first time that we have conducted a seminar of that. And so I want to commend your leadership on this matter and also to put on record my appreciation for it. I look forward to many other training seminars.
The member from St. Andrew South East.
Madam Speaker, just on a point of clarification, I've looked at the documents to be laid. I don't see the fiscal policy paper, which is one of the most important documents.
In the announcements, member, you will have.
Well, it's not on the paper.
You will have that and another update.
And
I saw a handwritten note. And there is a further update. There is a document from the Integrity Commission as well. And it came just before we came back into the chamber. So what I had recommended, instead of pulling the announcements, to do an update of that note, I saw mine written in. We will recommit announcements, and it will be announced at that time. And when we recommit announcements, we will also include the Integrity Commission report, not currently on your announcement sheet.
And can I just ask that the revenue measures as well, we have gotten other table documents that before the minister speaks, that the members have an opportunity to see a physical copy of it as well.
Thanks. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, firstly, let me join with you in welcoming the members for our new legislative session, and commend the members and the House for the changes we were able to make over the last session. Madam Speaker, I want to commend you, and I think the report that you gave was a comprehensive report, which does highlight some of the challenges that you and the other staff members face in administering the business of the House. And I want to commend you, the clerk, and the members of staff for all the work that they do and their dedication. You made a point at the House Committee that oftentimes people are of the view that work only happens when there are sit-ins, but there is so much work that happens behind the scenes. And I really want to join with you, Madam Speaker, in advocating for us to take significant steps during the course of this year towards a new Parliament. Madam Speaker, it is good to report that the majority of our select committees have met in our shortened legislative year, including the Standing Order Committee, which, as you outlined, started to look at some of the suggestions regarding reform of the standing orders, and the House Committee. And again, the matter of a new parliamentary building was raised across both sides in that House Committee. Also looking forward, Madam Speaker, to the new parliamentary website, which I know steps are being taken to develop and roll that out this year, and I know it is something that the public is looking forward to. Madam Speaker, just allow me to urge the members to remain cordial, respectful, and to adhere to the standing orders. We can disagree without being disagreeable. And let us remember that regardless of our political side or affiliation, ultimately, we are all here to make Jamaica a better place. Madam Speaker, with that said, you have already addressed, and I now see the fiscal policy is being tabled, and I assure the members that at an appropriate time, the revenue measures will also be circulated, and we look forward to this parliamentary session.
Leader of Opposition Business.
Madam Speaker.
Deputy
Say one day Busha is Busha anyway, right?
Member, permission granted. You can stay in that seat and make it yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, but to also extend our welcome to all the members, and we look forward to a productive parliamentary year. I want to especially welcome the newcomers and to hope that they will have a fruitful stay and a long stay in the House. But that as we do the business of the people, we work assiduously to keep the relations cordial on behalf of the people and that we get the work done.
Thank you very much. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, we can go through the agenda. The only item that we have for today is the tabling of the estimates of expenditure and the associated documents that come with that.
Thank you. Announcements. Statement by ministers. Announcements.
Laid on the table of the House are the following. Estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st of March 2027 and dated February 12, 2026. Jamaica Public Bodies estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027 dated February 2026. Jamaica Mortgage Bank estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027. Tax expenditure statements for the period 2022 to 2024, dated February 2026. Public sector consolidated estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st of March 2027, dated February 12, 2026. Revenue estimates 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st of March 2027, dated February 12, 2026. Government of Jamaica Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy for the financial year 2026-2027 to 2029-2030, dated February 12, 2026. Government of Jamaica Fiscal Policy Paper for the financial year 2026-2027, dated February 12, 2026. Ministry Paper numbered 17 of 2026, titled Revenue Measures for the Financial Year 2026-2027. And finally, the Integrity Commission's investigation report into concerns that Ms. Brittany Blake, an accounting clerk or cashier, formerly employed to the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, failed to file her statutory declaration with the Commission for the year 2023, contrary to the law and its indicative ruling. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Bills brought from the Senate, petitions, papers, reports from committees, notices of motions given orally. Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move, be it resolved, that the estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st March 2027, the Jamaica Public Body's estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027, the tax expenditure statement for the period 2022 to 2024, the Jamaica Mortgage Bank estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027, the Government of Jamaica Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy for the financial year 2026-27 through 2029-2030, the public sector consolidated estimates of expenditure 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st March 2027. The revenue estimates 2026-2027 for the financial year ending 31st March 2027, and the Government of Jamaica Fiscal Policy Paper, fiscal year 2026-27, which were laid on the table of the House on the 12th day of February 2026, be referred to the Standing Finance Committee of the whole House of Representatives, consisting of all the members of the House, for consideration and report. Madam Speaker, I further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take this motion.
Thank you, Minister. Questions and answers to questions. Motions that may be made at the commencement of public business requiring notice, motions relating to the sitting of the House, motions for leave to introduce bills, presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained, public business. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, we will take the Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion, notice of which I gave earlier.
Members, the question is that the standing orders be suspended to enable the Minister to take the motion, notice of which she gave earlier. Those in favour? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Minister.
Madam Speaker, as this is the first time that we will be laying the revenue measures along with the other documents today that relate to our budget, I ask that I provide a context for the estimates and associated revenue measures that will be referred to the Standing Finance Committee before I move the motion, Madam Speaker. Okay. Madam Speaker, just allow me, Madam Speaker, to acknowledge my husband and one of our daughters sitting in Our daughter is visiting from cold Chicago and wanted to see her mother in Parliament. Thank you, daughter. I feel very special. Madam Speaker, You will recall that the Independent Fiscal Commission estimated that a budget deficit of 5.3% over the period fiscal year 2025 to 26, fiscal year 2025-26 to fiscal year 2029-30 is well above the legislative threshold of 1.5%. This allowed us to trigger suspension of the fiscal rules. I took the order to suspend the fiscal rules to Parliament for Parliament's approval to permit the fiscal rules to be temporarily suspended. Madam Speaker, the Independent Fiscal Commission, which started on January 1, 2025, in their first report, the Independent Fiscal Commissioner raised a red flag that successive governments have failed to table the revenue measures along with the budget documents, despite it being a requirement as per the FAA Act. Madam Speaker, in the interest of full disclosure, and more importantly, in compliance with our very own law that was passed in this Parliament, and to enable the Independent Fiscal Commissioner to have full visibility into the budget figures in order to do the assessment as to whether the budget is credible or not, we are laying the revenue measures today, as well as the first. Madam Speaker, this government has had the longest number of years of no new taxes in the history of independent Jamaica. Madam Speaker, only a Category 5 hurricane with winds of 185 miles per hour could have interrupted that. Madam Speaker, our adherence to fiscal prudence, putting aside some of our budget for a rainy day, finding financial instruments that would provide ready cash in the event our rainy day buffer was not enough, were some of the wise decisions we made as a government. And oh, how those wise decisions have helped us to quickly respond to bring relief to many left homeless by Hurricane Melissa. So, Madam Speaker, I now turn to the revenue measures to explain what they are and to just briefly continue to give a context. So this Honorable House, yes. Okay. This Honorable House is being requested to take note of the following revenue measures for implementation in fiscal year 2026, 2027, and fiscal year 2027, 2028. The passage and impact of Hurricane Melissa has materially altered the government's fiscal environment. The hurricane resulted in unprecedented damage to critical infrastructure, productive sectors, and public assets, placing severe pressure on public finances and reconstruction expenditure, which is expected to extend across the medium term. Against this background, Madam Speaker, expenditure containment and administrative improvements cannot close the emerging fiscal gap. It is therefore imperative that targeted revenue measures to strengthen revenue performance, safeguard fiscal sustainability, and ensure the government's continued ability to deliver essential public services are introduced. The proposed fiscal revenue measures target some areas that are currently undertaxed, such as digital services. Additionally, given Jamaica's commitment to environmental preservation, it is proposed that the Environmental Protection Levy revenues be increased to support the government's recovery efforts. The revenue enhancement also includes a tax on sweetened beverages, which are generally perceived as a threat to healthy lifestyle. So I'll begin with the application of General Consumption Tax, GCT, on digital services and intangibles. The Honourable House is asked to note the intention to apply GCT to digital services and intangibles supplied from abroad and consumed in Jamaica. This measure forms part of ongoing efforts to modernize the tax system and provide fairness in an increasingly digital economy. Digital services now form a growing share of everyday consumption by Jamaican households and businesses. Many of these services are supplied by non-resident providers with no physical presence in Jamaica, resulting in inconsistent application of GCT under existing arrangement. The rapid growth in digital transactions has highlighted gaps in the current tax framework. Similarly, services may be subject to different tax treatment depending on whether they're applied locally or from overseas, placing our domestic businesses at a competitive disadvantage. In addition, the shift towards untaxed digital consumption contributes to revenue leakage and reduces the government's capacity to fund public services. The proposed reform is guided by the destination principle, an internationally accepted standard for consumption taxation. Under this principle, GCT applies where a service is consumed rather than where the supplier is located. In practical terms, this means that digital services consumed in Jamaica should be subject to GCT in the same way as locally supplied equivalent services. The application of GCT on international digital services and intangibles is expected to have a positive revenue impact once fully implemented. The measure is expected to yield in the first instance starting in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2026-2027 because there's an implementation curve that we have to go up, and we're expecting $300 million in the first instance, but as it is fully implemented in the financial year 2027-2028, we would expect $4.2 billion. Our revenue measure number 2 would be levying the special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. This Honourable House, Madam Speaker, has been advised that SCT will be introduced under the General Consumption Tax Act on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. For this measure, non-alcoholic sweetened beverages are defined as all non-alcoholic beverages containing added sugar or other caloric sweeteners, as well as beverages containing artificial or non-nutritive sweeteners, whether carbonated or non-carbonated, and whether manufactured locally or imported. The primary objective of this measure is not only revenue mobilization, it also supports broader public health objectives. Jamaica continues to experience elevated levels of obesity and diabetes, and sweetened beverages are recognized as a significant source of extra sugar consumption. Any reduction in consumption resulting from the price adjustment would represent a positive supplementary outcome. Madam Speaker, this Honourable House is being advised that sweetened beverages are widely consumed across income groups and represent a high volume, consistently traded category of goods. Data from the 2024 Economic and Social Survey of Jamaica indicate that domestic production of carbonated beverages increased from approximately 17.3 million cases in 2020 to an estimated 20.1 million cases in 2024, reflecting sustained demand. Sweetened beverages are currently subject only to the standard GCT rate of 15% and are not presently listed in the Act as prescribed goods for SCT purposes. The proposed SCT will be assessed on a per unit basis, calculated based on the total liquid volume of each sweetened beverage measured in milliliters. The Honourable House is further advised that the SCT will apply at the point of manufacture for domestic producers and at the point of importation for imported products, in accordance with the provisions of the GCT Act. This ensures, Madam Speaker, administrative efficiency and parity between local and imported goods. The SCT will be applied at a rate of 0.02, which is 2 cents per milliliter. The estimated revenue gain associated with levying the SCT on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages is estimated at $10.1 billion and will take effect during the first quarter of fiscal year 2026-2027. At this rate, just to break it down in terms of the estimated retail price impact, it would be as follows for these examples. So for 300 milliliters beverage, it would be $6. For 600 milliliter beverage, it would be $12. And for a 2-liter beverage, it would be $40. Revenue measure number 3 would be an increase in the special consumption tax, SCT, on liters of pure alcohol. The Honourable House is being advised that the special consumption tax, SCT, on all alcoholic beverages will be increased from $1,230 per liter of pure alcohol to $1,400 per liter of pure alcohol. The current rate was established on March 13, 2017, many, many years ago, when the specific SCT increased from $1,120 to $1,230. The proposed increase is intended to preserve the real value of the tax and strengthen revenue mobilization. The Honourable House is reminded as well that alcoholic beverages are subject to both the SCT and the GCT. The GCT is applied on an ad valorem basis at the standard rate of 15% at the point of sale. The proposed measure does not alter the GCT, but only adjusts the specific SCT component. The proposed increases will apply uniformly to locally manufactured and imported alcohol beverages, ensuring neutrality of treatment and maintaining consistency within the existing SCT framework. The estimated revenue gain associated with increasing the SCT on this product, liter of pure alcohol, is estimated at $1.6 billion and will take effect the 1st of May 2026. The next is increase in the special consumption tax on cigarettes. The Honourable House is being further advised that the SCT on cigarettes will also be increased by $3 per stick, moving the effective specific rate from $17 per stick to $20 per stick. The current specific rate was established following the March 13, 2017 adjustment many years ago, which increased the tax then by $3 per stick. The Honourable House is advised that cigarette taxation remains a significant and reliable revenue source internationally. However, tax revenue performance is influenced not only by tax rates, but also by consumption patterns, enforcement effectiveness of public health policy. Increasing taxes on cigarettes are internationally recognized tools to moderate harmful consumption and reduce long-term health costs. The proposed increases will apply uniformly to locally manufactured and imported cigarette products, again ensuring neutrality of treatment and maintaining consistency within the existing SCT framework. The estimated revenue gain associated with increasing the SCT on cigarettes is approximately $1.1 billion and will take effect 1st of May 2026. Moderation of the 20% duty concession on motor vehicles for public officials. The Honourable House is asked to note that the current 20% duty concession on motor vehicles for public officials in certain positions reduces the duties payable when importing or purchasing vehicles. This concession was introduced to reduce the cost of vehicle ownership, support mobility, and assist certain public sector groups in an environment that no longer exists. It represents a significant reduction in government revenues. The Honourable House is asked to note that currently under the 20% duty concession framework, public officials in eligible posts are afforded preferential tax treatment on importation of motor vehicles. Within this framework, both the SCT and the GCT are fully waived, and the applicable customs duty is 20% of the vehicle's CIF value. Consequently, beneficiaries of the concession are required to pay 20% customs duty with no liability for SCT or GCT. The Honourable House is asked to note that it is proposed that the 20% duty concession on motor vehicles be amended. It is proposed that the 20% import duty remain payable, the GCT becomes payable, and the SCT exemption remains. The estimated revenue gain associated with removal of the GCT exemption is approximately $1.3 billion, and it will be effective the 1st of May 2026. Right, the concession remains, but with modification. The next revenue measure is the increase in environmental protection levy rate.
The Minister's time for speaking has expired. Minister, my apologies. Somebody's phone rang in here, sounding the bell, but the time on the clock has not expired. My apologies.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this Honourable House is asked to note that the primary objective of the Environmental Protection Levy is to mitigate environmental degradation, promote sustainable resource utilization, and bolster climate resilience, particularly for Jamaica's vulnerable island ecosystems. It was first imposed on all goods imported, but later extended to the domestic market. At the ports, it is charged on the CIF of imported items, while domestically, it is imposed on the sales of locally manufactured goods, discounted by 25%. Madam Speaker, events of recent years have underscored the urgent need for enhanced environmental safeguards. This includes implementing stronger penalties to deter pollution, A series of severe natural disasters has further challenged Jamaica's fiscal stability. Hurricane Beryl in 2024, followed by the unprecedented Hurricane Melissa in 2025, which is identified as the costliest in the nation's history, causing estimated damage in excess of US $8.8 billion, approximately 41% of 2024 GDP. These events have imposed a significant financial burden, contributing to a projected decline in real GDP of 0.5% and 4.5% for the 2024-25 and 2025-26 fiscal periods, respectively. In an effort to finance enhancement of climate resilience, it is proposed to increase the environmental protection levy rate to 0.8% from 0.5% for both imports and domestic goods, and to expand the base on which the domestic levy is charged from 75% of sales to 100%. It is estimated that these adjustments will result in $3.639 billion in revenues effective May 1, 2026. The next revenue measure will increase the general consumption tax, GCT rate, on tourism activities to the standard rate of 15%, up from 10%. The Honourable House is asked to note that over the years, the Government of Jamaica has provided special tax treatment to the tourism industry to alleviate the tax burden and propel the industry to a level of maturity. This support was delivered through targeted tax credits, including the special tax credit, STC, and the Special Alcoholic Beverages Credit, SABC. These credits allowed eligible tourism entities to reduce their net tax liability based on prescribed formula, including credits linked to non-tourism revenue streams and to GCT paid on alcoholic beverages used in taxable activities. While effective in reducing the tax burden, these arrangements were administratively complex. In fiscal year 2005-2006, the credit-based system was repealed and replaced with a simplified regime under which the tourism industry was subject to 50% of the standard GCT rate, resulting in an effective rate of 8.25%. This rate was subsequently adjusted in fiscal year 2009-2010 to the current rate of 10%. Since that time, the industry has continued to mature and demonstrate sustained growth in arrivals, room stock, and earnings. In this regard, Madam Speaker, the Honourable House is asked to note that, considering the foregoing and government's revenue needs over the medium term, the GCT rate applicable to specified tourism activities is to be increased to 15%, effective April 1, 2027, because we know that the industry is recovering, and so it will be delayed until 1st of April 2027. The GCT rate on tourism activities is estimated to yield approximately $11.4 billion in additional revenues annually. Madam Speaker, there will be continuation of the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to central government. Madam Speaker, the NHG Act was first amended in March 2013 to facilitate the transfer of $11.4 billion to the central government towards fiscal consolidation for the four-year period 2013-14 to 2016-17. Given the need for further consolidation on the government's economic reform program of the day, Further amendments to the NHG Act were undertaken in August 2017 to facilitate continued transfers for the period 2017-18 to 2020-21. December 2020 to facilitate the continuation of annual transfers for the period 2021-22 to 2025-26. The National Housing Trust Amendment Special Provision Act 2020, the Act, provides for the National Housing Trust to provide a fiscal distribution for fiscal consolidation of $11.4 billion per annum for a period of 5 years, with effect from 2021-22 financial year. Section 3 of the Act provides that this Act shall continue in operation until March 31, 2026, and shall then expire. The expiration of the Act on March 31, 2026 will result in the discontinuation of the annual contribution by the NHC and a significant fall-off in government revenues. Given the impact of Hurricane Melissa on the island, continuation of these transfers across the medium term is necessary to support sustainability of the fiscal operations while reconstruction activities are underway. It is therefore proposed, Madam Speaker, that the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to the central government be continued for another 5 years from fiscal 2026-27 through fiscal year 2030-2031. Madam Speaker, property taxes have remained at the same rate since fiscal year 2016-17. Property values have remained at the same value as they were then on the books of government. Our property taxes support our municipalities and the National Solid Waste Management Authority. The Prime Minister, to whom the National Land Agency reports, has approved the National Land Agency to begin a revaluation of the many parcels of land in Jamaica. This work will take about 12 months, and so that valuation will advise the new property tax rates for fiscal year 27-28. To close, Madam Speaker, we know that we are in the wage negotiation cycle with our public sector workers. We take that quite seriously, coming on the heels of the major wage restructuring. Today, Madam Speaker, this government is indicating that despite the massive disruption of Melissa, totaling US $8.8 billion, or 41% of our GDP, and the debt we must take on to rebuild, reconstruct, and build in resilience in our infrastructure as a government, despite all of that, Madam Speaker, we remain committed to the wage offer that this government has put forward to our public sector workers. And this offer was put forward prior to the devastation visited on us by the Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, with winds of 185 miles per hour on October 28, 2025. That we are able to do so following Melissa is a testimony to the years of fiscal discipline pre-Melissa and the many years to come of continued good fiscal management. Finally, Madam Speaker, last year in this Parliament, as a government, we gave a commitment to the increase in the threshold to 1.9 million for fiscal year 2026-27. Madam Speaker, this government also remains committed to the increase in the threshold to 1.9 million come April 1, 2026. So, Madam Speaker, as I close, my message is a message of hope to all Jamaicans, to say we will rebuild homes, churches, schools, businesses, lives, livelihoods, or telecom network, or electricity grid, hotels, roads, or produce farms, or vegetable crops, fishing villages, animal farms. Madam Speaker, much of that work is already underway. Today, we construct temporary containerized homes because we must move fast to put those in place. But tomorrow, we build permanent structures. Madam Speaker, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, we gave food packages and hot meals to those who lost everything. Today, we are helping to restore homes and livelihoods and put persons in a position in which they'll be able to put one foot in front of the other and begin life anew. Today, Madam Speaker, we clear roads and replant electric poles that have been scattered by Hurricane Melissa. Tomorrow, we build highways that are climate resilient, promote efficient connectivity, and have underground conduits for electricity grid and telecom networks. Madam Speaker, this is a government that cares. That wakes up every day with focus and with energy to do the work, to build country, create opportunities, and ensure Jamaicans can live life to its fullest. Madam Speaker, let me close by saying, God bless everyone. God bless Jamaica, the land we love.
Responding, the member from Southeast.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
St. Andrew Southeast.
St. Andrew Southeast. And we are offering our preliminary comments, having just received this, and the opposition will more fulsomely respond as we go along. I want to make a couple of comments. Before we get to Melissa, or even before we got to Beryl, it's important to remind the country that for the last 2 fiscal years, government's revenues have been struggling to meet government expenditures. And the government has relied for the last 2 fiscal years on 2 one-off transactions which have allowed the government to fund the budget. In 2023-24, the sale of 12 years of future revenues from the Norman Manley International Airport yielded $75 billion, which financed the 23-24 budget. For the 24-25 budget, the sale of future revenues, 10 years of future revenues of Donaldson Airport yielded $61 billion, which allowed the government to finance the 24-25 budget. I am making this point, Madam Speaker, to indicate that without Beryl, without Melissa, the government would have had to find some other asset to sell to meet the demands of the budget. All right? I want to go to some of the measures, again, preliminary to what the minister has proposed. In relation to the special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened drinks, I know there is a public health imperative, a very big one. But I will say to you, I do not believe the price increases will change behavior. Hold on. And hold on. And the persons who are the greatest consumers are young children who go to basic school, primary school. And we need to change the culture. But when you look at the demand for these goods and the level of the increases, I would posit that it's a relatively inelastic demand, meaning that I don't believe that you're going to have much behavior change. Yeah. What I'm recommending, though, is that the up the 10 billion which you, and by your own measure, the fact that you anticipate to collect so much from this indicates that you don't really expect there to be a significant fall off in demand. But I would recommend that some of the monies that are collected from it, are invested and provided to the local agriculture industry so that natural juices, unsweetened natural juices, can be provided as alternatives to the sweetened drinks. And that the monies, the 10 billion, are not solely just put in the overall consolidated fund, but that we enhance our ability to provide the substitutes for it. Secondly, in relation to the environmental protection levy, again, my recommendation, the funds that we anticipate to collect from this goes into building greater resilience so that we can absorb some of those shocks that we naturally are going to have in the future, right? And when you look at you anticipate raising 3.6 billion from it. And we know that given the nature of climate change, we are likely to have future events that some of those resources be put to build resilience, whether it be in infrastructure, river training, other things. Madam Speaker, I am also happy that the government finally has not just followed the recommendation of the Fiscal Commissioner, but abided with the FAA Act in ensuring that the revenue measures are tabled at the same time as the estimates of expenditure. I will close here, and as I indicated, these are our preliminary comments, and once we have an opportunity, the budget debate and others, we will expand on it. Thank you.
Minister, you would need before to move the motion. Minister, just please move the motion for the notice to be approved, which you gave earlier.
Wait, come now? I don't know what I did it. Okay. Madam Speaker, I now move that the motion, notice of which I gave earlier, be approved.
The question is that the motion, notice of which the minister gave earlier, be approved. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, it is not intended to do any further business today, but let me make two quick announcements. Standing Finance Committee will meet on the 5th and 6th of March. We intend to start at 9:15 on the 5th of March, and again, we ask the members 9:15. On the 5th of March, as you know, we have a lot of ground to cover over the 2 days, and we ask the members to be here and be on time. Additionally, the Parliament is organizing with the Ministry of Finance for there to be a training session in relation to budgetary matters, right? So that especially the new members of Parliament will be able to go through and interrogate the budget and get themselves familiar with the budget and the budgetary process. We think this will make the Standing Finance Committee go a lot smoother. So members, look out for that notification as to when this training will be held, and please avail yourself. With that said, we ask that the meeting be adjourned for a date to be set.
No, nothing else on adjournment, because when we abuse some privileges, it means when we are doing adjournment, I no longer break for even clarification. Clarification can be sought outside the House. Members, that clarification on adjournment can be sought outside the House. Members, as it relates to the announcement by the House Leader, the time is tight, and the Ministry of Finance just gave us the go-ahead to be able to facilitate the training for us. You will appreciate that when the budget schedule is circulated. So having asked the ministry, they just today, while we were sitting here just a while ago, agreed to do the training for us, and it is something that we need. Members, thank you so much. And as moved by House Leader, there being no other business, I now ask that this House do now adjourn for a date to be fixed. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. This honorable House now stands adjourned.